Josh, good to speak to you. Obviously, you've come into the team this season. Just about how it's going at the moment. How have you found the step up coming into the first team this season?
Yeah, obviously at first it sort of hits you all at once. It's pretty tough, pretty fast. But obviously the more games you play, you just sort of ease yourself into it, get more confident, and you sort of get used to it after a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Obviously, you came in this season. How did you find it at first? Have you coming in with the first pre-season? And when did you hear about that you were going to be playing with the first team?
It was pretty late, to be honest. Obviously, when Tim was here, he was the one who gave me a call and said that I was going to step up next year and join the boys in the first team. So that was obviously a big surprise. And then obviously just coming in, I knew a couple of the lads anyway from my academy reserves and stuff like that. But it was good to get obviously used to the lads and get to know them a bit better.
Yeah, definitely. Let's take you back to the early days then. So when did you first start rugby league?
I was probably a bit of a late bloomer. I only actually started playing when I was around 12, 13 maybe. And the first session I ever did was at school in a PE session. And I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just diving on top of people and stuff. But that was probably it. Yeah, I think I was about 12 or 13, something like that.
Yeah. Who's your first team then once you got into it?
Chevy Sharks. I've only actually ever played for one team. I think I went to a training session once at St Pat's. And then I just didn't like it though. And then a couple of lads who I went to school with all played for Chevy. And it was just easy getting lifts to train and stuff like that, so I just joined them.
Yeah, and then you heard of the interest from Widnes Vikings, obviously. How did that come about?
Yeah, and so they done all the the under 14s camps and stuff like that. Every club done them. So like I said, with a couple of lads that I was with at Chevy, they used to go to different ones like the Wigan and the St Helens ones. So I just jumped on, didn't really know what it was, didn't really know what scholarship or anything was like that. Just joined one of the camps, ended up doing a few sessions here, and then just got a bit of interest from Raz it was. So told me he wanted me to come down and sign on, so yeah, that was probably about it.
Right, so obviously you came into the academy. You mentioned in the past Raz is one of your biggest influences on your fledgling career. What was it like with him and the academy and the other coaches?
Yeah, obviously I've probably known Raz now like 6 or 7 years or something. He used to come watching our games down at Chevy under 14s and the 15s and stuff like that. We used to always chat to him after the game and stuff. Yeah, obviously as a coach, I think I was actually the first person Raz ever recruited as a coach. So just chatting to him after games and getting a bit of wisdom and knowledge off him on what I could do better and stuff like that. Sort of see him as a friend as well as a coach, and I can always go to him for anything. So yeah, probably Raz's biggest influence.
That's brilliant. And then obviously when you came through this pre-season, as we mentioned, who was kind of making you feel welcome into the team, and what were the lads like when you first joined the first team?
To be fair, all the lads are really welcome anyway. They're all a good laugh and they just all welcome you with open arms. Probably the biggest one I probably influenced with mostly is probably Craven. Now especially linking up with him on the left side, I'd probably chat to him a lot more with him being a senior player as well. If I've got any questions or issues, he's probably someone I'd go to the most with throughout the boys and Steve as well.
Yeah, that's definitely. Who are some of the lads you've come through with? Obviously you've come through with Will this season and made your debut together of course, and what was it like coming through with him and kind of going all the way through the academy, and now you're playing with him in the first team? What's that been like?
Yeah, it's a good feeling. There's obviously you've mentioned Will there as well, but Brooksy as well. I actually played for Chevy with Brooksy, so me and Brooksy have been playing together now here as well since we was 13, 14 years old, so that's like a nice feeling as well. But no, with Will, he's probably one of my best mates here. Obviously he come through the academy pretty late on, but we sort of just clicked straight away, so it's good to have them lads still around, because you can always obviously go to them properly. Yeah,
definitely. And obviously you made your debut against West Wales at the start of the season, obviously with no crowd, but what was that like to make your debut?
It was immense. It was a weird feeling. It didn't seem all real at first. Obviously I come on off the bench and it was sort of a game you sort of got whelmed into. So yeah, it was nice though. Yeah, it was a good feeling.
That's fantastic. And you kind of you got your chance in the team obviously this season with some injuries to forwards, and you've got your chance in the team. How have you found the step up from academy level to kind of the first team and being thrown in?
I'd say it was just a lot faster at first. I'd not played 80 minutes for a long time, so when I got told I was doing my first start, that was something that hit me quite hard. But now I've got used to it, and hopefully I can keep that starting position for the rest of the season.
Yeah, as I said as well, the start of the season we were playing with no crowds, but now obviously starting to welcome some more fans in. We had a few more in as well at the weekend. What's it been like playing in front of a crowd compared to when you first started the first team?
Mental. It is pretty weird. Obviously we've got a couple of fans every now and then through the academy. You've got your family and friends and stuff like that, but a big massive crowd and you hear a couple of people might shout your name in the crowd, it's a bit of a weird feeling, but no, it's really good. Obviously they give you all a big boost and a big lift, especially when you're through the tunnel in the game.
Just to mention something earlier in your career as well, obviously a little bit of info on you. When you're invited to England under 16 trials, and you had an injury at the time. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so obviously each club sent two or three players forward, so there was me and two of the lads who was here at the time, and I'd picked up an injury. I'd displaced my clavicle against Bradford, and I really like fighting to try and go, and I really wanted to go and stuff like that, because to myself I was better than the two lads who actually ended up playing, but it was just one of the things. It wasn't the right thing to do. I wouldn't have been able to perform at the highest level, so I spoke to Raz, I think 2 days before, and just said, like, I don't think it's right that I go, because I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't move my arm properly or anything like that, so it was gutting, but like I say, just it is what it is.
How was it recovering from that injury, and how long did it take to get back?
To be fair, it's still not quite right now. I do a couple of pull-ups and it clicks every now and then, but no, it healed pretty well. I like to think I'm a fast healer, but like I say, it just wasn't the right time to try and go and perform at a trial with lads from higher, like bigger academies and stuff like that. So it was just one of them things.
So obviously you went through administration with the club, which must have been a really difficult period. How did you find that when you were coming through the academy?
It was a weird feeling. Obviously we wasn't even allowed to train. We used to all turn up, come in. I remember once we actually come out to train, and then one of the administrators told us we wasn't allowed, so we used to just sit in the classroom. And it was a weird feeling, not knowing, you know, if we was going to be there tomorrow. Like, you didn't know if they was just going to can the full thing. So it was just sort of taking everything day by day, and just hopefully that we could make it through it. And obviously we did, which is the good thing. So
yeah, we come out the other side with obviously fan support has brought the club through. What do you think the club can achieve going forward, and what do you think the club can go forward and potentially get back to Super League in the future?
Yeah, definitely. We've got stepping stones in place, different team, different coach, and obviously it's just going to all take time, isn't it? Obviously building that relationship with the new coach, new players, new teammates. Eventually we'll just keep growing and growing, and we've got the stepping stones going forward ready for it.